So good morning and welcome back. So this was the problem with which we stopped yesterday. So we know that performance is dependent on the clock rate. So generally there is a belief that higher the clock rate, higher the performance. So this problem is to clarify about that. Now if you look at this question, there are two processors. One is 800 megahertz clock rate with the CPI of 1.2 and another one is 1 gigahertz with a CPI of 1.5. That means in processor by AMD, on an average one instruction takes 1.2 clock cycles, whereas on a processor from Intel Pentium, the instruction takes 1.5 clock seconds. So even though the clock rate for Pentium is high, it takes more number of clock cycle for completing an instruction. So obviously we cannot decide which one is faster by simply looking at clock rate alone. We have to consider the CPI values. CPI stands for average clock cycles per instruction. So today I will tell you how to find this value. Okay. Now let us calculate the execution time for both the processors. They have told us that they follow in identical ISA. That means both instructions, the count is same on the processor. So let us see how it is solved. Now let us compute the CPU time on AMD for the given program. Is equal to instructions, number of instructions into CPI on AMD for program P multiplied by clock cycle time on AMD. This is instructions we do not know. Let us keep it such as instruction count because they have not clearly told how many instructions. So we assume that this many instructions are there. So 1.2 into this 1.25 ns is 1 divided by 800 megahertz, because we know that clock cycle time is 1 divided by clock rate. Okay, so you get 1.5 multiplied by instructions piece. Now let us compute the same value for the Intel P3 CPI P3P into cycle time. So it will be 1.5 into. So the conclusion is their performance is the same because both values to 1.5. So this tells us that merely looking at clock rate alone, we cannot decide the performance. We need to look at the CPI also. Now we have a rule which tells us the speed up improvement, how much improvement we can make. So common cases in hardware can be made faster. Exceptional cases in software can also be made faster. So this one you need not study. This is not there in your syllabus. Now you can safely skip this. Now let us understand the CPI value. So what is meant by CPI? Average clock cycle for type I. So let us take an example. We found by analyzing the program that 50% of the instructions are ALU. They can be executed in 1 clock cycle. Load instructions are there which requires 5 clock cycles. Store instructions are there which is on 3 clock cycles, and branch 2 clock cycles. So obviously this is a multi-cycle implementation. If the implementation was single cycle, then all instructions will run with 1 clock cycle. Irrespective of the type, all instruction will complete in 1 clock cycle. But here different instructions take different number of clock cycles. From this itself it is clear that it is a multi-cycle implementation. So in a multi-cycle implementation, how are we going to find the CPI? It is found by multiplying the weightage into the number of clock cycles. That is 0.5 into 1, that is 50% of that. Then 0.2 0.2 we are getting 0.2 by taking 20 divided by 100 into 5 plus 0.1 into 3 plus 0.2 into 2. So the CPI value is 2.2. That is average number of clock cycles per instruction. This value is heavily used for all problems in multi-cycle implementation. Now let us look at the metrics for performance, how we are actually measuring. It's actually execution time. Let us see. Your application is there. It will be written in a programming language. Compiler will make the instruction, and the ISA is the interface between the hardware and the program. So here, when it comes to hardware, the times involved are the data transfer times and the execution time. When it comes to the software part, it is dependent on the actual workload you are giving to the system. So you have spec 95, then millions of instructions per second, M flops of million instructions per second, etc. defined at the ISA. And the data path and control, if you look at in terms of hardware, you talk in terms of MBPS, megabytes processed, megabytes transferred per second, clock cycle per second. These are the metrics. So we will be focusing more on MIPS, million instructions for millions of instructions per second, and millions of floating point operations per second, flop. M flop and MIPS will be the performance evaluations. Okay. So MIPS, what is MIPS? So MIPS here in this context, MIPS talks about millions of instructions performed in second. So we find out how many instructions are executed in, how many millions are executed in 1 second. So we divide by 10 power 6. So that is how we are getting this instruction. So execution time is equal to instruction count divided by MIPS into 10 power 6. This is a very simple derivation. You can find it out. So you have to find out how many instructions are executed, how many millions of instructions are executed. To find that, you can just divide the total execution time divided by 10 power 6. So MIPS, let's say somebody will take, my processor is 5 MIPS. That means it can execute 5 million instructions per second. So you find how many instructions can be executed per second, divide it by 10 power 6. Then you get the total number of millions of instructions. So this is a very popular metric. Next comes MFLOPS. Billions IPS, billions of operations, terops, and so on. MFLOPS is number of FP operations. That is number of floating point, because floating point instructions takes more time when compared to integer arithmetic. So if your processor performance is to be measured in terms of floating point instructions, we use MFLOPS. Similarly, other variations are all there. Now the next task before us is how are we going to select the program for measuring the execution time, because the time taken by a program to execute depends on the time taken to execute a program. It depends on the number of instructions, and number of instructions depend on the program. So if we use different programs for performance evaluation, we will get different values. So we need a neutral performance measurement system in which we use a single program. So that such kind of programs are known as benchmark programs. So benchmark programs are standard reference programs which we run on top of a CPU to find out its execution time. So they are actually workloads. We will find out what are they. So benchmark is a standard of measurement evaluation. So it's a standard term. We are talking about benchmarking programs. A computer benchmark is a program that performs strictly defined set of operations, a workload, and returns some result. That means it's a well-defined program, a collection of program which we use to evaluate the performance on a machine. So we need suitable workload. It could be real application kernels or toy benchmarks, synthetic or dummy programs, or another standard which is SPEC, System Performance Evaluation Cooperative. We'll learn about it. The real applications are not practical, because real application will be defined for a particular type of problem that may not serve as a generic neutral performance evaluation. So you can use compilers, tech compilers, scientific apps, CAD programs, and see how the computer performs. We can use kernels also, which are system programs. Toy benchmarks are there. You can run some game. Let's say you select one game and see how much time it takes to load or process or render some graphics. You might have experienced that some games are faster on some machines, isn't it? So games are also a limited form of performance benchmark. Next you have whetstone or drystone. They are integer programs. Whetstone is floating point program. So if you look at some CPU data sheet, you will find whetstone performance this much, drystone performance this much. So that is actually telling you the size of the performance on these type of programs. So who is doing this benchmarks, how the standardization happens? So here you have to study the SPEC, System Performance Evaluation Corporation. So they are making the benchmark program. You can download a SPEC 95 or SPEC 2019 suite and run on your laptop and find out what is your performance. Okay, SPEC 95 is integer. So in SPEC 95 suite, there are 11 integer programs and 14 floating point programs. So they will be running on top of a computer and find the, okay. So it contains lot of programs written in C and compiles. You can just go through this. SPEC, as a assignment, you can go through spec.org and find out the latest SPEC benchmark for performance and run it on your computer and see what is the report that you are getting on the machine. Okay. So let us look at some more worked out problems on performance computation. So look at a system here where this is the average breakup of instructions. What is the average CPI? Average CPI is equal to 0.5 into 2 plus 0.8 into 0.08 into 2 and so on. This we know how to compute. Okay, so CPI is 1.74. So let's assume a 2 GHz Pentium 4 computer with a program consisting of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It means 10 to the power 9 instructions. What is the execution time? How to solve this? You pause here and solve it your own and check the answer. And the answer is instruction count into CPI into clock cycle time. 10 power 9 into CPI 1.74 into this 0.5 nanosecond. How are we getting this? This is 1 divided by 2 GHz. Okay. So like this you will get lot of questions. I will share this document also. You can study that and do some more problems on performance evaluation. Okay. We will see more numerical exercises in the next class. So today you go and study spec.org and get the latest one, run it on your laptop. Okay, and learn how to measure the performance of your computer. Thank you.